That's us. That's live. Somebody's calling me. It's scam likely. Should I answer it on the?
Yeah. See
It's
what they
gonna
have to say.
be just as entertaining
Put
as
it on
the
speakerphone.
call Blue gets.
Hello.
Hello, this is an opinion-based political poll about your upcoming election for St. Charles
Nope.
Oh, that could have been fun.
I turned it off. What could go wrong by playing that whole thing?
How is everybody doing this lovely evening?
Oh, it's Wednesday already.
It is Wednesday already. It's like it never stops.
I got Thursday night football tomorrow as well.
Who's playing?
Bills in Miami.
Oh, okay. That should be. I wouldn't say it's going to be interesting because the way Miami has been playing for the past 2 weeks, it's not been bueno.
Ryan prefers the games when they're not interesting.
It's true.
When it's a blowout.
Especially, yeah, so that I can go to bed early.
And you don't have to have a heart attack.
Right. Yeah, the first game of the season was that was rough. That was real rough. Didn't sleep well that night.
He just kept having fever dreams of the score going the
God,
wrong way.
Lamar, he's not real. He's not real.
No, Josh.
Lamar can't hurt you.
Josh, don't throw it. Don't throw it. Just run the ball.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this show started. Welcome, everyone, to Gamers Week Podcast. Like the name says, we analyze the best, worst, and weirdest headlines of the past week in the video game industry. This is episode 183, and today is Wednesday, September 17, 2025. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. My name is Blue Williams, and I'll be your host for this evening. But as you can see, I'm not alone. I do have two fine co-hosts with me. My first co host absolutely hates being told what to do. So, unless you got paid half up front and are stepping on his neck in thigh high stiletto boots, he would like you to kindly fuck off. Please say hello to Ryan Payne, aka Retro Game Brews.
I have a problem with authority, all right?
Except for when you're paying for it.
Except for very specific situations.
Technically, I'm still in charge there, right? Because it's the, well, actually, my money is taped to your tits right now, so I'm your boss.
And my second co-host likes to take long weekend trips to new cities where he can find an anonymous setting in which to gulp down hot, juicy meat right down his throat. Please welcome the one and only Donnie G.
What? What?
You had barbecue this weekend.
That okay? All right. Like, do you have a camera in my car or something?
Yeah.
That massage place. It was a massage place. Okay, it was just a massage place.
Clearly said bathhouse up.
Yeah. Those Turkish baths. What do you want me to do?
All right. Want to start your own podcast? Maybe about trying to entice alien species to Earth by launching gifts of cheese into outer space? You'll need a place to host your show. Buzzsprout has a user-friendly interface, great analytics, and resources to help grow your audience. Just use the link in the description to get a $20 credit when you sign up for a paid plan. And let's move on to our reviews, reactions, and requests. Redox PDX says Luke, that is the Luke of the Pixel Pound family, including Shannon and Luke. Luke has moved on to starting to practice speeding tutorials for Silksong. I should say not just practicing existing ones, he aims to make his own tutorials for skips and more, which is incredibly impressive because I'm still struggling through Act 2.
Oh, no.
And then here is Luke, who has not only beaten the game, but is now doing it faster and teaching everyone else how to do it.
It's so simple. Why haven't you done it yet, Blue?
I'm bad at games now. That's what I've learned through playing Silksong. All these years of waiting, and now what I learned is I'm bad at games.
It was bound
Luke,
to come out.
Impressive, most impressive.
Impressive.
Right?
Most impressive. I gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Webhead says, must have been mind-blowing hot, juicy meat. For you to
Oh,
forget
it
about
was
it.
so juicy. It was dribbling down my chin, and I had 3 different types.
SMB Flurry says, I'm sure the scope of GTA 6 will be impressive, but so will the install size and price. I don't have hundreds of hours to devote to a single game anymore. Personally, I'd rather play an indie game that's shorter, smaller to install, and cheaper.
Completely agree on that
Here,
one.
here.
Also, GTA 5 has been rampant with mods and all that stuff that make it basically unplayable in certain instances. So I'm hoping that that's not the case with GTA 6, but we'll see.
And finally, Royal Weirdo says, I don't care how many A's you squeeze together. I'm not paying over $100 for a video game.
We've got quintuple, sextuple, sextuple, dectuple, all the tuples. But so I was on the kick of paying for limited run collector's editions and stuff like that for a little bit, paying $100 for a game or $150 for a game. You get this big, huge box with a statue and all this other stuff in there. And I think that was worth it, but just a regular game and you want me to pay $100 for it because of what it has in it? No. I will sit there and watch it on the shelf as it continues to decline and decline and decline. And next thing you know, you're trying to get rid of it for $3. That's when I swoop in and I pick it up.
Pro strats right there. You heard it
Exactly.
here first. All right, let's move on to our patron shoutouts.
Well, we couldn't do what we do without the help of our gorgeous patrons. Here are the generous folks supporting Gamers Week on Patreon. Evo Lust, Cyrim, Have a Structured Settlement, and Need Cash Now. Catch your boy JG Wentworth at 877 Cash Now. Mega Retro Man, Gamatroid, Moradib, Michael. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired.
He's dead tired.
Lakite, Emo S, Bill Tucker, you know the beeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Fruitcakes. I hate it when my Schwartz gets twisted. Pickled pepper, ducks with thick thighs. Absolutely the best podcast. A work in progress. Bobson Dugnut, Blues Little Sis, Loud Moth, Retro Blast Pat, B&T Zilla Guy, The Mad Milkman, Seven Castle Forest, Crunchy Kong, Snacks, The Handsome Chef, Frank Grande, Love Retro BTW, Steven Sand, Ramboski, Terry Canair, Don't Make Me Pull This Car Over, Games with Coffee, Hybrid Divide, You Fall Before Me, Davey PGH, The Pixel Pond Family, including Shannon and Luke, Zach, aka Old Cluster Nuts, Puzzle Butter, Number One Blue Six Boys fan, John Barron, and Sassy Sony. If you like what you hear today, and we really hope you do, please consider joining us on Patreon. Your support helps cover the costs of producing the show, as well as other cool stuff we'll be doing like prizes and giveaways. You also gain access to our bi-weekly patron-only bonus cast called Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons of Benefits. Visit patreon.com/gamersweek or follow the link in the show notes to learn more.
All right, let's move on to the headlines.
This headline segment is proudly sponsored by Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress! Exclamation point. Each episode, George and Zach discuss and rank all the best things, starting with deep dives into every movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This week, they've got a trivia question for us. The actor who has the MCU's smallest starring role got their start in what 1995 movie that had working titles such as No Worries and I Was a Teenager? Visit them at absolutelythebest.net or follow the link in the show notes. Now, tiniest role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe obviously would be Paul Rudd from Ant-Man. And his first breakout role, from what I remember, was Clueless.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna agree with you, but that's a terrible name. I Was a Teenager.
Right.
If you told me that was a legit 80s like teen comedy, I was a teenager, I would believe you, like a straight to video 80s teen comedy.
It sounds like it.
I hope whoever suggested that got fired immediately.
And No Worries sounds like some Jamaican 80s
Bobby
Hey,
McFerrin.
no worries, man. Like Cool Runnings or something. Ooh, yeah.
Yes, you guys are correct. The answer was Clueless.
Clueless. Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Well done. Zach was debating whether it would be too easy for you guys, and I thought, well, Clueless is not one of the movies that they quote ad nauseum, so I thought maybe you wouldn't immediately think of it. But
As if.
Yeah. Ha! You gotcha. You gotcha.
right.
Oops, my bad.
All right, let's move on to this week's headlines. Nintendo
We'll go
held
rolling with the homies.
Rolling with the homies. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. See, we can do all these movies. We just don't.
Okay. Noted.
You started this. You doubted us, and now you're paying the price.
Nintendo held a huge direct last Friday with nearly a whole hour of information on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch games. This marked the first full, not partner or mini direct, since the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, so expectations were sky high. Thankfully, Nintendo delivered a blockbuster broadcast, absolutely bursting with exciting news for the months ahead. Here are the biggest announcements. We're finally getting a sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but it's not quite what fans thought. Nintendo unveiled a brief teaser trailer and revealed the title for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, so we can expect Mario's next adventure to be sending all of the stars into space. Speaking of Galaxy, it's finally time to replay two of Mario's best adventures as Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are blasting onto Nintendo Switch. The titles release on October 2nd, 2026, alongside two new amiibo.
Use topspin, slices, and lobs in a familiar Mario Tennis, but Fever introduces new mechanics like slides and the exciting Fever Racket. Items like the Ice Racket and the Mini Mushroom Racket look set to shake up the formula, building further on the great bones of Mario Tennis aces. Plus, explore the adventure mode and teach baby Mario and his friends how to play tennis. Mario Tennis Fever is set to release on February 12th, 2026. Nintendo has announced the first Yoshi game since Crafted World, and this one looks absolutely gorgeous. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is a 2D platformer that seems to be taking a few lessons from Super Mario Wonder and is set to release in spring of 2026.
Supergiant Games' sequel to its mammoth indie success Hades, unsurprisingly called Hades 2, finally leaves early access and is unleashed on Nintendo Switch 2 soon. Advancing the quickfire roguelike gameplay of the original with more action and more gods, play as the princess of the underworld when Hades 2 launches September 25th, with the physical hitting in December. Not content with just 3 Dragon Quest remakes on the platform, Square Enix has unveiled Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, a new take on the RPG classic. Sporting a chibi style almost reminiscent of the Dragon Quest movie, this entry seems to not only honor the original, but to be adding a new spin to keep longtime fans happy. This title launches on February 5th, 2026.
In a classic Nintendo move, Virtual Boy is officially heading to both Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 with a peripheral to match. This new version genuinely uses stereoscopic 3D thanks to the new dedicated Virtual Boy accessory, or alternatively, a cheaper cardboard model, which is much like the Labo 3D headset. Launches February 17, 2026. Samus with a motorbike? Sure, why not? Our latest look at Metroid Prime 4 Beyond gives players a peek at Samus riding what appears to be a really cool bike. And if we weren't already sold on this grand sci-fi shooter adventure, this has won us over. We also finally got a release date as Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and the 3 new Metroid amiibo all launch on December 5th.
It's time to return to Bonanza already with a huge DLC pulling from DK's adventure back on the N64 and beyond. Work with Void King and set sail for DK's island on a mission to earn as many emeralds as possible. This new mode gives you unique perks and skills every time you smash fossils or banandrium that word. And an almost roguelike new spin on things. Even better, it's already available. In what feels like a fever dream announcement, Pokemon and Minecraft vibes unite in a cozy new spin on the Pokemon franchise. Set to release in 2026, use Pokemon abilities to create your very own island paradise.
Capcom's latest entry in the long-running zombie hunting franchise is set to infect Nintendo Switch 2, bringing some classic horror to the platform. Coming February 27th, 2026. Along with this news, Resident Evil 7 and 8 are also launching on Nintendo Switch 2 on the same day. Hunting friends set to infect Nintendo Switch 2. Okay. The final moment of the Direct was a fun one, as Nintendo unveiled Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave, seemingly a direct sequel to Fire Emblem Three Houses. We didn't get too much information, but it looks set to continue the classic RPG gameplay and the drama of the original Smash Nintendo Switch hit. And I think Snacks is going to be all over that one.
Oh, yeah. Snacks was already in the Discord, like squeeing. He didn't type squee, like I thought would have been good and proper, but you know it was there.
You felt the squee context.
Yeah.
Yes, the vibe was there. Before we get into it, I do want to say really quick that when I was watching the Direct and they were talking about, let's see, Mario Tennis Aces. No, Mario Tennis Fever. That's the name of this one. Mario Tennis Fever. And the announcer was like, and your characters can use fever rackets. I genuinely thought the announcer said beaver rackets. And so I was working and I was like, huh?
like the animal with the teeth, beaver.
Yeah, beaver rackets is what I thought, or any associated context with that word.
That's I chose the cleaner version. Yes,
right.
Nice beaver.
Thanks. I just got it stuffed.
Yeah, so I was only kind of half listening, and I was like, I admit that got my attention.
Mispronounce a word, and everybody's listening again. The hook.
Sorry, what now? Yeah.
The hook brings you back.
You Fall Before Me says, the power of the beaver is strong. First time chatter Dragoon Arc says, rage quitting Mario Tennis, pulling an angry beaver.
I believe you probably can't use a beaver as in tennis, but more like pickleball. Because you get the spin on the ball and everything like that if you angle the beaver in a certain way.
Angle the beaver in a certain way.
Yeah, to get better results.
Beaver.
Anywho, what did you guys think of the Direct?
So I will say this: I don't necessarily think this Direct was my cup of tea. I don't think there was a whole lot of that I was going, "Ooh, yay, hooray!" It's exactly what I wanted. It just, to me, it was ironic that Nintendo. So people who have been Nintendo fans, have been clamoring for VR, right? Like, we'd like something VR, right? Everybody else is doing it. Nintendo's like, we got something for you. Let's bring back the one thing that is the biggest blunder of all time that has ever existed. We have not talked about the Virtual Boy since we canceled it. Nintendo has really not even talked about it. And let's create a whole peripheral that you can buy to play Virtual Boy games. There had to be a bunch of people who just went, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Where's Ashton Kutcher? Am I being punked?
Right, exactly.
I mean, yeah, of all their consoles that they could put on the Switch Online, I was like, what, really? Virtual Boy. Because you've got to have, it doesn't work unless you have the peripheral, so you can buy the cheap, like, cardboard one, and I'm honestly not sure how much that one costs. But the real one, I'll say the quote unquote real one, is $100.
It's $100, right?
Yeah.
$100 to play the library of 14 games that are going to eventually be on the service, not right away. So they probably will launch with 3, 4, 6, I don't know, but that's not a lot for $100 peripheral.
Do you think that Gunpei Yokoi, like, his body, like, he's just like, he heard, we're coming back out with the Virtual Boy peripheral. He's like, what the fuck? Bam! And hits the top of the coffin. It's like, are you fucking serious?
Ducks in Disguise says at least 10 of those 14 games are ass.
Right, they are. I can. Okay, so what are the good games? Mario Tennis, Wario, right?
Right.
There's
Jack
Red Alarm.
Bros, but I don't-
Jack Bros.
Yeah, Jack
Yep,
Bros.
you're right.
but
Jack
I don't know
Bros.
if that's
expensive.
one of them that's going to be on there.
Right.
Red Alarm, Tolero Boxer,
Both ass.
Mario
Yeah.
Clash.
Ass.
Yeah.
I just say no, like maybe 3D Tetris,
Pinball.
Nestor's Funky Bowling.
Materia Keeper 97, first time chatter, says making the peripheral required to play games from Nintendo's least successful console is quite a ballsy move.
I will clap to that.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
exactly right.
Preach.
Got to get that
Yep.
money somehow.
Right.
I mean, this seems geared specifically towards the people who are in love with shelf candy, because I can't see
Of
really
course.
any other reason that you would need to buy the full priced one. I don't know how much the cardboard one is, but if it's really just cardboard, why couldn't you just make your own?
I get what you're saying, but I'm totally gonna buy the legit one.
So just so I'm
You
clear,
bought the alarm clock, so of course you will.
oh, they bought they have a legit module one that's fully plastic, like the I guess from the molds of the old ones. Okay,
Yep.
so Retro AF makes a good point, and this is something that I was thinking about the other day. Is that people who are looking for the stands? So OG Virtual Boy owners who have one of those stands that maybe broke, and you want to go out and try to look at one on eBay or something, they're really expensive. So if I was a collector, I'd go out and buy the new peripheral and just use the stand for my older Virtual Boy.
Or you could 3D print it for a fraction of the cost.
But then because then you'd have to go and buy a 3D printer. Not everybody owns one of those things.
Or have somebody, if you have a friend who has one, or pay somebody online to 3D print one for you.
True. I just don't know how
I'm
much
a
that would
problem
cost.
solver.
You're a dream crusher. That's what you are.
I'm curious if it's the same size. Like the whole thing is exactly the same size, because from what it looked like, I got the feeling that maybe it was smaller.
Too little? You said it was a great size.
Usually when they say that.
Simon says libraries let you use 3D printers.
Again,
Is that
if
right?
libraries have a 3D printer. I know. I don't think
Yeah, I'd be shocked if my local library had one.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, but moving beyond the Virtual Boy, which Ryan can tell us all about when he gets it.
Dragon Quest looked kind of cool. I mean, love Dragon Quest 7 anyway, so it'll be fun to revisit that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of remasters, remakes.
Yeah. That's what everybody's doing now. So why should I be really excited about this Nintendo Direct when it's just full of the same old stuff?
Why should I be excited about Nintendo Switch 2 if everything is the same?
Yeah.
So far, that is a valid point.
And
unless you really, really love Donkey Kong Bonanza.
well, Donkey Kong Bonanza and the new Mario Kart World, which
Right.
I'm curious about the second to the last entry. It says Capcom's latest entry in the long-running zombie hunting franchise is set to infect Nintendo Switch 2, bringing some classic horror to the platform. Are they talking about that? Are they talking about Resident Evil?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they just referred to Resident Evil 7 as classic.
Okay. Because it says coming February 27, 2026. They don't specify what exactly is coming there, but they're saying along with this, it's Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 launching on this one. So what's the first paragraph talking about specifically? A new entry?
I think 8 isn't 8 the new entry?
9 is.
9
Requiem
is right.
is the new one that's coming, which they said that's gonna be ported. They're gonna bring 7 and 8 to the Switch 2. But like every Resident Evil game is already on Switch 1. You could just play them on your Switch 2 if you really wanted to. So I'm not sure what this writer is trying to say, but in the direct they specifically said 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
Because 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, because 1 was 6 for 7.
Yeah, but speaking of Donkey Kong Bonanza, this DLC is $20 apparently, and mainly what I have heard, and people in the chat, if you have the DLC, you can let us know if you think differently. But what I've heard is that it pretty clearly seems like something that was just cut from the main game. It's very bare bones, extra content, and that people are suspecting they purposely cut it from the game just so they could tag it on later for an extra $20. They say it's absolutely not worth that much money.
Ooh.
I haven't played it, cannot verify, but that is the overwhelming response that I have seen online to this DLC.
Maybe that's the new normal. is you get the base game and then you got to pay for extra levels, and that's how they justify you paying $100 for a game.
If that's the new normal, if that becomes the new normal, I'm out.
Right. Back to retro.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Resident Evil 7?
Oh. Is that retro now? Because did that come out in 2005?
It's not even retro. It's classic, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever that delineating factor is. But yeah, it's not quite 10 years, or maybe exactly 10 years. I don't remember, but it's not that old.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Mario Brothers movie, they didn't really show us much, right? It's just an overarching look of the landscape going through and everything, showing a sleeping Mario doing this. Yeah, I almost thought that from the second Super Mario Brothers movie, we would see King Toad, because isn't that where it went after the original Super Mario Brothers 2? You got King Toad in the ice or Dreamland or whatever it was. I was kind of crossing my fingers, like maybe we'd see that as a new enemy, but
yeah, but that's not going to tie into their ports of Galaxy 1
no,
and 2.
it definitely will not. But now that I know it's Galaxy, I've never played Galaxy.
Mm-hmm. And considering that the ports are going to be $70 for those two games. Now, on the one hand, you could say, well, that's $35 per game, which is not that bad considering Nintendo games never go on sale. But if you already got the 3D All-Stars, you already own Galaxy.
That's right.
And they're only selling the Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 separately as digital games. So if you want a physical of Galaxy 2, you got to pony up the full $70 for both games, the one that you already own.
Oof, not so good. Do you remember when things were just fucking simple? When they were simpler with video games and how we got them and what we got, the amount of stuff that we got for our dollar. And now it seems like it is a virus. The video game industry is a virus and it's spreading. And what I mean by virus is their way of thinking of how can we take all of our consumers' money.
I may not remember, but Pepperidge Farm does.
Fuck you.
Pepperidge Farm remember.
Yeah, I mean, there was some of that back in the day. Don't get me wrong. Like the squeeze you or separate you from as much money as possible. But it's gotten to the point where like gaming, it just feels like it's too big to sustain itself. And that's why they're just trying to figure out ways to nickel and dime you. If it was, what was the term? It was luck mechanics or something like that, which was what they used for loot boxes, right?
Yeah.
After a while. And then, it's all the DLC stuff. It's all that kind of stuff. It was like, how can we just get a little bit more? And it's piled on, right? It's become the Frankenstein version of itself over time.
Fire bad.
Right. Money!
Money good.
Retro AF says the Mario Brothers movie capped at 90 minutes, and you have to pay extra to watch the ending 2 weeks later.
There you
Oh
go.
no! Or if it's like, okay, if you want to see the special ending, the after credits, you're gonna have to pony up $5 more. What?
Mm-hmm.
They pause it. They're walking around like, we
Give
take
us
Venmo.
money. And Dux is saying, fighting games, you could unlock fighters by playing the game. And Ryder Studio told him, okay, Grandpa, let's get you back to bed. But he's right. That's how you unlock special fighters, is like doing things, achievements or whatever in the game and unlocking them. And now, like with Street Fighter 6, I've got to pay $12, $15 every time like a new fighter shows up. Like, oh, okay. Oh, you want to play Sagat? Guess what? Pony up $15. Otherwise, you can't play him.
And that, I mean, if you're somebody who takes the game really seriously, you have to buy every fighter.
Of course.
So, yeah.
One of those fighters is going to be the new meta that everybody's learning, is going to be kicking everybody's ass. You need to spend the money in order to get that fighter. Yes.
Exactly. This is bullshit.
This is bullshit.
Well, now that we've turned into the old man shakes fist at cloud podcast, I'm going to say that Hades 2 looks sick. It looks so amazing. I cannot wait to play that. Let's see. The Dragon Quest remake looks good, but I think I was more interested in what's the other one that's coming soon? Is it Dragon Quest 3? Like the 2.5 HD?
Oh,
So, yeah, offhand, I don't know.
Okay. You guys don't know how something like
Sorry.
that? Metroid Prime 4, I was so happy for all of those people who have been waiting for that game for, it feels like 84 years.
Yeah.
And then they finally got a release date. So, as someone who finally got the game that they've been dreaming of, I'm very happy for all of you to get that.
Hades does look pretty good. It looks like I love the color palette and the art style. It looks like that dungeon crawler.
Mhm.
I don't know Hades. I'm not familiar with it. Is it a dungeon crawler like Diablo?
Yeah, it's a roguelike. And so you just try to get a little bit farther each run until you get to the end, which admittedly I have not. I still need to get all the way to the end and finish Hades.
I know Clay was a huge fan of Hades.
Oh,
And has
Hades
tried
is amazing.
has tried to get me to play it several times.
Hmm
Whoops.
Whoops. Cyrem says, I've had Hades 2 since it started early access and it's amazing.
Ooh,
Nice.
very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the recommendation.
Yeah, it's bad timing because a Silk Song just came out. Ghost of Yote is coming out next month.
Yep.
So it's like,
And I'm knee deep in balls. Knee deep in Adventures.
Told you.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Get tripped.
I reversed it. I was gonna say
The
balls.
meat down your throat.
I was gonna say balls deep into Adventures of Samsara, but I was like, nope. I'll keep it clean. I'll just go knee deep in balls. There you go.
Much better.
Yeah.
Nailed it. No notes.
First try. We'll do it live.
Knee deep in balls.
D says it slipped.
It always does.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's funny.
Duck says knee deep in balls. Sounds like a Doom community campaign.
Simon Astor says, I'm knee deep in balls. Someone is super excited about Virtual Boy Mario Tennis.
No, but if you're going to be knee deep in balls, it should be in beaver tennis.
Oh, my cheeks are hurting tonight.
Can we save this segment or should we move on?
Beaver
Yeah.
tennis.
I think we're done.
All right. Next up, Randy Pitchford's
my
chronic
God.
tweeting syndrome strikes again as the Gearbox CEO goes on the offensive against critics of Borderland 4's PC performance. Borderlands 4 launched last week and hit a peak of over 300,000 concurrent players on Steam alone, a figure significantly higher than any other Borderlands game released on Valve's platform. However, Steam reviews are mixed, with most of the complaints revolving around PC performance. Nobody has been surfacing those performance issues more than Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford, who recently went on a massive Twitter tirade saying that people's expectations are just too high. At various points, Pitchford told people to code your own engine and show us how it's done, please, and declared Borderlands 4 a premium game made for premium gamers. This is not a game made to run on 10-year-old PCs, says Pitchford. This game uses the full capabilities of modern bus, CPU, and GPU. If you're trying to drive a monster truck with a leaf blower's motor, you're going to be disappointed. Pitchford went on to advise that PC gamers should make use of DLSS, Deep Learning Super Sampling, which is NVIDIA's AI-powered image enhancement and rendering technology for GeForce RTX GPUs, downplaying concern about input lag. Earlier this week, Gearbox released a new update for Borderlands 4 to help improve stability for a wide range of PCs. However, the developer failed to provide patch notes for the update, leading to confusion about what it actually addresses. You can do whatever you want. The game is the game. Please get a refund from Steam if you aren't happy with it, Pitchford said.
He is the perfect example of someone who is in a position that got there because he was good at one thing, right?
Right.
And we went, well, that makes sense because that guy gets the company, but got put into a position to be a CEO, which is exactly not the right skill set. When we're going on Twitter and we're saying things more or less like, oh, well, it's too bad your potato PC can't play my fucking game.
Sounds like a you problem.
Right, exactly.
Dragoon Arc says, code your own engine, says the man renting Unreal 5.
In your face.
In your face. Yeah.
Somebody just take his Twitter away from him. Like, can we have like a meeting, right, where like all the senior execs get together and say, hey, Randy, we really appreciate all of your help on this one. By the way, could you just stay off Twitter? We'd greatly appreciate that.
Just do us a solid and please shut the fuck up.
Right. You're drawing more attention to a negative. If it was people talking about how much they like the game and you want to talk about it, go for it. Have fun.
Mm-hmm. I can't recall ever seeing a person who was not in politics be so amazingly combative over every single little criticism. Normally that realm is saved for, you know, people who are kissing babies and shaking hands and just
Right.
trying to
Fake outrage and
right, yeah, exactly.
So Randy Pitchford was bullied. Randy Pitchford got into a position where now he has ultimate power and he feels like he can say whatever the fuck he wants to. Yeah, if you don't like this, whatever, we don't care. Your old ass bones PC cannot play my super high intelligent game. It just can't
Right.
do it.
Just use our new AI thing to fix your input lag.
Yeah, this guy's a nut job.
And people are like, you know, that's not really a solution. And he's like, oh, well, if you don't want to use the tools available to you, I guess you know better. You know, we gave you the tools. If you don't like them, then you can suck it.
So
like, you gave AI upscaling. Nobody wants that. That's not a tool.
And you know, that is one of the problems with PC gaming, let's be honest, is that a lot of times when you're talking about games when they come out with new ones, right, it does require that you have upgraded components and stuff like that. But it sounds like maybe that wasn't communicated very well about what the requirements were.
Well, if you go on Steam and it says the minimum requirements are, let's see, I had it pulled up. Windows 10 or 11, Intel Core i7-9700, 16 gigabytes of RAM, the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070, 100 gigabytes available space.
100 gigs, Jesus.
The recommended specs are the Intel Core i7-12700, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 100 gigabytes of space, graphics card, NVIDIA 3080.
I got that. I can play the game.
So you think.
Right.
Yeah, what it sounds like is that maybe they didn't mean the minimum specs.
Right.
Is kind of what it sounds like. But I was looking at some of the reviews of the game. One guy said it's fun, impactful Borderlands gameplay, but this stays a negative review until Randy shuts up. Another one says, now I can put up with some bad optimization, but what I won't put up with is a CEO blaming the community. You cannot release a AAA game for $109 in this state.
Nope.
Go ahead.
No, you were going to say something. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to go to the next review. There's a lot of them, the reviews that are marked product refunded. And this one says, +1 to what everyone else is saying. God bless Steam's refund policy.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been I've been a patron of Steam's refund policy previously when I had purchased games and they just didn't seem to work. Not because of the graphics were a problem, but just something within the game itself. Didn't like my PC or what have you. I reached out to Steam. I got my money back, no problem. So at least we can do that, you know. And I don't think it's the same issue for people who are playing this on a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. It's designed exactly how it should be ran on those systems. So realistically speaking, you're not going to have the issues that a PC player would have. So, and you're not going to be able to go and get a refund on those. I don't, unless there's some monumentous change that happened within the past like 5 or 10 years. If you buy a game on your console, you open that thing up, you're done. If you don't like the game, you cannot get your money back.
Yeah, it would have to be bad enough to be a cyberpunk situation. Where
It's funny because
much
this
bad.
was like this was a reverse cyberpunk because everything worked on PC and modern consoles, just not the PS4.
Well, I was seeing headlines that were saying that actually, when you get the longer you play on console, the more problems you have.
Oh, really? So it's buggy.
Wow.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing: a lot of games, especially games of this scope, have buggy launches. It's really common. So just own up to it, work on the game, say, hey, thanks for your early support. We're working on it. Appreciate your patience.
Yep.
We're working as fast as we can. Can you imagine if like No Man's Sky had a CEO with this response?
Just fuck you, fuck you.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, I've seen some people saying, well, at least Randy is not one of those like really buttoned up CEOs who's always reading from a script and never says anything of value. I'm like, okay. I don't.
I'll take that though. I'll take the buttoned up guy that protects the people who work for him by not having time
Right.
online.
Right. Instead of making their lives worse every day.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Because you can't take a little bit of what sounds like to be very valid criticism.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'd hate to be an investor in Gearbox.
I don't know if I feel like if the investors didn't like Randy, he would be gone.
Yeah, the board would.
Is
would
Gearbox
definitely-
publicly traded? Do we know that?
Let's check.
To Google.
And the answer is no, they are not a public company.
So I wonder if Randy owns most of it, so he can do whatever the hell he wants.
Actually, that would explain a lot.
Yep.
Okay, so but Take-Two, so it's a subsidiary of Take-Two, which is a publicly traded company.
Okay.
Okay.
Would not be surprised then if there's a knock on the door. It says, "Hey, Randy, why don't you come in and we need to have a little talk."
All of a sudden, he gets a notification on his his iPhone. You have a meeting with HR. Like what?
In 15 minutes. Yeah.
Siren says, well, they're definitely not keeping him for his hair. And Retro AF says, everybody buy one share so we can fire Randy.
I'm a shareholder. I'm a shareholder.
Right. Vote of no confidence.
All right. And last up, Valve sure seems to be on the verge of announcing a new piece of gaming hardware, but don't get your hopes up for the Steam Deck 2. Based on the company's recent trademark of the term Steam Frame, a number of influencer types making cryptic social media posts about traveling to Seattle this week, it appears we're mere days or hours away from seeing a follow-up of sorts to the 2020 Valve Index. Redditors have been compiling the evidence pointing towards a VR hardware reveal from Valve on Wednesday, including multiple VR-focused YouTubers traveling to the Pacific Northwest. Competitor Meta is actually hosting its annual Connect event on September 17th and 18th, but multiple influencers have confirmed they won't be at the event, which is in Silicon Valley, not Valve's native Bellevue, Washington. Notably, Valve timed its last big VR reveal to the Index to coincide with a Facebook developer event in 2019. So what is the Steam Frame? The solid speculation is that it's the final name for the Valve Deckard, a long-in-development head-mounted display alongside a pair of new controllers given the codename Roy. Other bits of info point to the headset likely being wireless rather than tethered to a PC via USB. And I have been checking the news all day because today is the 17th. Today is the day that supposedly it was going to be revealed. And I was really hoping that we would get actual news before we went live. Not yet. It will probably drop later tonight or tomorrow morning.
which we will need to get up very early to just record for like 5 or 10 minutes for that segment.
And just go, God damn it.
Yeah. Right. It's like, no. I didn't fucking
If
do
that happens, I'll just put it into the show afterwards, like the next day. God damn it, Valve.
Right.
And then go back to like the regular show.
So, Puzzle, it's actually called Deckard, as in
Like
Blade Runner.
Deckard,
No, not
Deckard Cain?
No, not Deckard Cain. Can I tell you?
Have I told you about the Valve headset?
The sheets, right? And with the code name Roy, I mean, that's Blade Runner. You've got Deckard, you've got Roy Beatty or Batty or whatever his name was. I don't do VR headsets because VR makes me queasy and uneasy. Proc-cheesy. But this thing looks cool. The Valve Index does look cool. And if it provides a newer, more advanced, revolutionary VR experience, I could be down for it.
Yeah, I've yet to play any VR headset that doesn't make me feel like crap after about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Valve comes out with a brand new headset. Nintendo releases one that's 30 years old.
I mean, innovation with withered hardware, or however it is the quote goes.
Yep. Withered, yeah.
Technology.
Yep.
Technology. I think that's it.
What kind of influencers are we talking about here? What? Just video game influencers or VR? If there's really, we have influencers in VR. There's everything's got a freaking influencer, man.
Probably. Continuing to shake fist at Cloud. You know what I find really interesting is this idea of a feud between Valve and Meta.
Yeah.
And having Valve time their VR events at the exact same time Meta is holding their events. I love that idea.
Yep, me too.
Well, however, they sweet talked the VR YouTubers to get them to go to Seattle instead of Silicon Valley, which honestly is probably not that difficult because it sounds like Meta is just going to be announcing like AI accessories for your house.
Yeah, because didn't
okay.
Meta, like they shut down their VR thing or something like that because they were
Didn't shut it down, but
they were wasting so much money, billions of dollars in that whole VR, trying to make it look like the Oasis and all that stuff. And what did we get? We get Minecraft, Roblox graphics for their VR thing. Yeah.
So the question is, the two of you, are you going to go out and buy it right away?
No.
Oh. I mean, I will join in with you guys that I can't do VR because I get seasick. I don't even think I could last a half hour. I think after about 10 minutes, I would be. Yep.
Oh my God, we should all get one and then play on video here, right? On live, or like on a Monday. See how long we can last before we throw up.
Just got a bucket, bring in a
bucket. We were talking about doing a drinking stream, so add booze to it.
No. We may die.
It's worth the views.
No, it's not.
We'll just, all three of us will be dead on screen, and then the stream will kind of awkwardly just keep going. And the viewers will be like, well, now what?
Simon Astor says,
We would
everyone
get
pounds a
famous
chili
though
dog
overnight.
first.
Ugh.
I've got a lot of valuable stuff in this room, and if we did a drinking stream with VR, everything would be covered in chunks.
Yeah, you just have to lay down plastic like you were painting.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Like American Psycho.
Is that an axe? Yes, it is.
I apologize to everyone who is listening. This is probably not how you thought that this was going to go. Yeah. No, I'm not going to get one.
But at least there's some competition out there now.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I want to see how this looks. I mean, you look at some of the older VR headsets that they used to have, and those were tethered. And that was just very cumbersome. I remember 10 plus years ago going over to an acquaintance's house, and he had a VR headset. He had the Vive or whatever it was, the one that was tethered to a PC, which had the sensors and all that stuff, and you had to stay in a certain area. And that's clunky and cumbersome. But the fact now that most headsets have stunning VR that's wireless, that you don't, I mean, all you have to do is charge it for a little bit, and there you go. You can play anything and everything. I think that allows for a lot more mobility.
And a lot more opportunities to run into walls
Yeah.
at your house.
Boom.
Which really, those are the YouTube compilations we're all actually looking
Of course.
100%.
Actually.
Yep.
for. Actually. All right, let's move on to our top 3 new releases.
First up, LEGO Voyagers, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Switch, and PC. From the makers of LEGO Builder's Journey comes a new 2-player co-op adventure about friendship and play. When 2 friends make it their mission to rescue an abandoned spaceship, they embark on a journey beyond their wildest dreams. Cooperatively solve the game's let me try this again. Words. Cooperatively. That's a word I can't freaking say right now. Cooperatively solve. There we go. The game's many challenges and discover how 2 bricks are better than 1. Play locally and on the same screen or online. Next up, Strange Antiquities, Switch and PC. Follow up the indie hit Strange Horticulture. Become the custodian of a store dealing in occult antiquities. Explore the quaint and gloomy town of Undermere, where strange going on and dark mysteries abound. Find and identity arcane artifacts. Find and identify arcane artifacts. Use your collection to aid the townsfolk with their unusual problems, and remember to pet your cat. Hey. And then lastly, Dying Light, The Beast, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. You are Kyle Crane. And after years of brutal experiments, you want revenge. Experience a unique blend of first-person open-world survival horror as you hunt down the man who transformed you into half-man, half-beast. Crush skulls, rip heads off, and tear enemies in half as you constantly fight to control your evolving beastly powers. So, taking a look at these, Donaldo, what are you in for?
I am all beast, not just half beast.
Power up.
Lego Voyagers. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, I anything that's not the Marvel Legos or anything based on an IP like Indiana Jones, Star Wars, etc. just doesn't really catch my interest. I'm sure this might be fun, but I don't know anything about Lego Voyagers. I don't think I really want to know anything about Lego Voyagers, so that's just going to be done. Strange Antiquities. I am a puzzle person. I do like puzzle games. Just depending on how much this game will cost. If it's like a $7.99 game or something like that, okay, I might check it out. It's just something to pass the time, right? It's nothing that's going to have me just captivated, enthralled, and brought in. So it's eh. And Dying Light, The Beast, survival horror, definitely love those. But I don't know. I don't think I played the first Dying Light, so I can't say with 100% certainty that I would like jump right in and know exactly what the story involves. But I'm, like I said, I am a good sucker for survival horror games. So this probably would be top on my list if I were to pick it up.
Nice. Blue, what about you?
So I will kind of echo the sentiment about Lego Voyagers. I'm sure it's fun, but I don't generally go for Lego games anyway, let alone one that has to be done in co-op. And I'm just not in the mood for something like cozy and uplifting. That's not my vibe right now. So I will pass on that one. Strange Antiquities, I am absolutely planning on getting. I got Strange horticulture and enjoyed it. It's just a something casual to occupy your mind, trying to solve the mysteries. Finish it in a single sitting. I spent a whole day, didn't have to think about anything outside of the game. It was great. So, looking forward to doing that again. Dying Like the Beast. Yeah, I didn't play the first one either. I'm sure it's also fun, but there's just not really anything in there that's kind of grabbing me. So, of these three, I'm going with Strange Antiquities.
Very nice.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with Lego. I have never played a Lego game. Not one. Not the Marvel stuff, not the Batman, none of it.
Haven't even tried one?
I have not.
I'm kind of
And-
surprised that you wouldn't have played that with like your nieces and nephews.
Yeah, none of them, I guess, were into it or what have you. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was always Pokemon and stuff. But yeah, so I don't know. This doesn't look like the game that would draw me into playing Lego. So, which Dying Like the Beast, Blue, you said you're not really into cozy games right now. This is the antidote to cozy games, right? Crush
suppose.
skulls, rip off heads, right?
Yep.
It definitely looks like fun. I'm interested. I'm not sold on it yet, but I'm interested. I'm not very good at survival horror, so we'll see if it's something that I could get into. But Strange Antiquities reminds me of like a Twilight Zone episode, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
you go to the shop and buy cursed things, kind of like the same thing they had Rick and Morty with the devil owns a cursed shop, right?
Oh, or Friday the 13th, the series.
Yeah, so it's because Strange Horticulture was fun. I think this is like the next level of it. It's I'm expecting there's going to be monkey paws and stuff in it, and so the fact that it's short and it's playable, that's like sounds like something that's perfect right now for me because I just have so little time to game. So I think I'm also going to go with Strange Antiquities.
Woo.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Before we move on, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. This segment is proudly sponsored by the Retro Game Club podcast. It's a fantastic, family-friendly retro gaming podcast. In each episode, Rob and a guest pick 2 games to play and discuss, as well as news, interviews, and other topics. This week they want to know, what are your favorite non-console retro games? Visit them at retrogameclub.net or follow the link in the show notes. Non-console retro games, like arcade only?
PC, arcade.
Yeah, PC arcade. I asked the same clarifying question, and Zach basically just said anything that's not on a home console, which is a shame because I was going to say my favorite retro game was Resident Evil 7.
Well played.
Yeah. That joke's going to go the whole night.
The 2 that come to mind for me are Roller Coaster Tycoon and StarCraft.
Okay. Damn.
StarCraft? I mean, do we have to have the what is retro discussion?
97.
Yeah.
It's 27 years old at this point.
No, we don't say numbers.
It
on this
is.
show.
It is 27.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
It's hard for me to think of like an arcade game that didn't really get ported to a console. So
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
yeah, that's console.
Carnival.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure if Carnival ever got ported. It might have been on like the Sega Genesis or something.
I was thinking like the Saturn or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. In Japan.
One of my favorite ones, PC wise, is well, obviously Leisure Suit Larry, the original Leisure Suit Larry, but also Seventh Guest. I had so much fun playing that at my buddy's house when I would stay the night. And when I was in high school, we'd hang out, we'd play Magic and Magic the Gathering, not like with like top hats and bunnies. And then he had a
Hey Bill, I'm gonna make your nose disappear.
Like, what? Oh, these handwritten napkins just keep coming up. But Seventh Guest was a full motion video puzzle horror game about you being trapped in this house, and you're an investigator, and you're seeing all these actions happen, these little movie clips, and you'd have to solve these puzzles, and it was tough. This game was tough for a 14-year-old Donnie G who just could not figure a lot of stuff out. There was no way to go online and look at the FAQs because there weren't any at the time. So just kind of had to try and figure it out on your own. So that was one of my favorites.
Retro AF says, actually, Seventh Guest got ported to CDI.
Actually.
Retro AF didn't say the actually. I added it because it seemed appropriate.
That, I think you can go ahead and say, no, it didn't get ported because almost nobody bought a CDI.
So it doesn't count.
Right.
Simon Ashtier said favorite non-console retro game, Nintendo serial system.
I'll allow it.
Yep.
Man, I don't know. We didn't have any PC games when I was growing up, except for like the Windows pack-in games.
Yeah.
So like that space pinball thing,
Yep.
Solitaire, Minesweeper. And unfortunately, I can say that Minesweeper has been ported to consoles because I have it on the Switch because there's 1,000 Minesweeper clones out there. No, side note, it sucks ass on the Switch.
That space pinball game smacked though. That was good.
Oh, I love playing that at work.
So maybe I'll have that be my answer because I really didn't play any what you would call actual PC games.
You Fall Before Me says the one with the guy skiing and being chased by a bear was decent.
Ski free.
Yeah.
Most everybody in the chat is saying something from LucasArts or Sierra Online.
Yeah, but most of those have been ported. Like Police Quest. Actually, Police Quest I don't think was ported to anything.
I bet you Clayman 71 would know.
Yeah. He knows the Police Quest, the King's Quest, all the quests.
Space Quest.
Yeah, Space Quest.
Cling tenaciously to my buttocks. Clay will get to the reference.
Yep.
This is for one person out of the hundreds of people that download our shit. That joke was for one person. You're welcome.
It's a Powdered Toast Man, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Why don't we go ahead and jump in? Let's see here. Thank you for coming, students. Please take your seats. Welcome back to Professor Rybread's Gaming History 101. And in today's lesson, we actually got a request from Eric Aubin, who emailed us and suggested that we take a look at what he referred to as black sheep games. So games that games that were part of a franchise, but took a left turn, right? So either used a different genre or had a different style of gameplay, or just generally people think of it as being the odd one out, right? So did a lot of research and came up with what I consider to be, 5 really great examples of this as black sheep games. And actually, Eric suggested our first one, which I think is a great example as well. And Donnie, I'm curious, before we jump into this one, the first one we're going to cover is called Metal Gear Acid. Have you ever played that game?
Metal Gear Acid. No.
So Metal Gear Acid was developed in 2004 for the Sony PSP.
Okay, there's a reason why I haven't played it.
Right. So for one, it's on an unusual console, right?
Yeah.
So the gameplay itself, it's a tactical turn-based combat instead of stealth action. Its movement and attacks were dictated by collectible cards. GoldenEye, thank you so much for the 100 biddies.
Oh, thank you.
Everything from sneaking to CQC to calling in mechs required playing the right cards. So you would have to choose the right cards. So it's a deck builder, if you will.
Okay.
Right. And the storyline was kind of separate from the Metal Gear Solid canon, but that made it the freedom to make it a little weirder over time.
We're gonna get weird, man.
Right. But it was developed by Konami, right? In Japan as a PSP launch title, right?
Okay.
Hideo was not a part of the development for this one, which I'm not surprised to hear. And the game itself, I think from a reception standpoint, right? Fans of traditional Metal Gear, I will say, were kind of baffled by the radical shift. Um, Now, on the other side of that, though, critics really praised its ambition, but called it clunky and alienating, right? Because it basically took a gameplay option and slapped a, a Metal Gear name on it. We're like, hey, we got this new game for you. So imagine like getting into it, like, oh, this is sweet. I can't wait to play Metal Gear on my PSP, and it's a fucking card game. And so, but it does have a cult following. So Eric is actually, he said he thinks he's the only person who actually likes this game. So interestingly enough, it did spark joy for at least one person out there.
There you go. That's all it takes.
I know exactly what this is like.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. This
I knew
weird
it.
random card game in an established series that I go, oh, I can't wait to play another Kingdom Hearts on my PlayStation. What the fuck is this? Get it out of my house. But it does have a cult following.
So the next one is a divisive one. So some people hate this game and some people love it. But I know everyone knows of this game and have more than likely played it.
Okay.
That, of course, is Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Mm-hmm.
So before I jump into this, do either of you have an opinion on Zelda
Thanks, I hate it.
2?
I used to hate it whenever I was younger because it, you put something out that was just phenomenal, right? And then you're like, oh, Zelda 2. Oh, it's more of the same. It's like probably a bigger map or different enemies and everything. What the hell? Like, what? It's a platformer? Like, okay. I think I can do that. And it was more of the role-playing genre, or it had more role-playing aspects, in my opinion. And I didn't like it whenever I was younger because it was more difficult. But now, as I'm older, and we played it for... I think I played it for one of the 20 speed runs or whatever like that. And I actually like the game.
And I think what's interesting about it is that if it wasn't a Zelda game, I think it would have a better reception.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't call it Zelda, if you called it something else, right?
Zelda.
It's like, but like if you play Battle of Olympus, it's basically the same game as Zelda 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it wasn't as popular, but I don't think people go in and go, this is a crap game because I have so much I had so much expectations for Battle of Olympus, right? But when we talk about Zelda 2, of course, it was developed in parallel with the original Legend of Zelda, but aimed to innovate rather than repeat. Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka experimented with RPG leveling and side-scrolling to push the NES hardware. Now, overall gameplay, I'm sure you guys are familiar, but it is, of course, it has an overworld map, exploration. You got semi-random encounters, right? You don't know what you're gonna get, so it's not like it's an action RPG, but it's not completely random where you're just walking and all of a sudden it goes woo, and you're into a battle, right?
It goes what?
Woo woo.
Beto, beto, beto.
Of course, there was the only Zelda game with an experienced space leveling system in it, right? And there was health, magic, and attacks, of course. And the one thing that people complained about was that it is really difficult.
Where's
especially
my
in the
easy
beginning.
mode?
Right. Learning curve. Like as soon as you get to what is it, Death Mountain, it's just like, holy crap, this one goes to 11, if you will.
Well, and it's also one of those ones that how would you ever know what you're supposed to do?
Especially if you're
without
going
looking it up.
through, yeah, right. The just like, it's a maze as well, and then the part where you have to go through all the different graves to find that one grave that drops you down. You're right. There was definitely some cryptic things about it, and in fact, I think that was some of the criticism, right? But people were divided, right? Some people liked it, some people didn't. but really over time it's developed a reputation as being the odd one out, but I also think that some people like that about the game because it's so different, right? But for the most part, if you look at like lists of Zelda games, Zelda 2 is almost always in the bottom third or bottom 33%.
Materia Keeper says, I played on the Switch Online version that gives you all the upgrades from the beginning, and the final dungeon still wrecked me. That math checks out.
Yep, for sure. All right, the next one's also on the NES. Any guesses as to what this one could be?
Black Sheep. I'm saying Castlevania 2.
You are correct, sir. Castlevania 2. For me at least, my experience with this game is that yes, it's different, but man, the music is so good in this game. It's one of those ones where like the music is good enough that it kind of makes up for some of the things that
Does
are
it?
difficult. A little bit, you know
Does
what? Because I
it?
can sit there and do a you know?
With the knockback sound and
Yep.
the death
Whoop.
noise the whole time, ruining the music for you.
You're actually not wrong on that one, right? But of course, Konami wanted to build on the success of the original Castlevania while expanding the scope, and it was inspired with RPG elements from, ironically enough, Zelda and Dragon's Quest.
It
So,
ruins everything.
right. Zelda not only ruined their own franchise, they ruined Castlevania too. So the open world progression, one of the things that was added to the game was a day and night cycle, right? So night cycle made all the baddies and everything a lot harder. Like day cycle was that, and then there were certain times in which if you went into towns during the daytime, there were no baddies. You go at night, there of course are baddies, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got RPG mechanics, including currency experience, NPC dialogue, right? Nothing as classic as I Am Error, but still weird things that people would say. Usually when you go to an RPG, they tell you secrets of the game, how to progress, like what to do here. Like, oh, I heard that if you talk to this person, this thing happens. But none of it makes sense. It's all like gobbledygook for the most part.
You mean I like shorts?
And then as far as the gameplay itself as well, super cryptic. No way you can know what to do in that game. There are certain elements that you would not progress unless you had some kind of guide.
Huh. Kind of
Yeah.
like E.T. Wow.
I mean, E.T. came with the guide. Nintendo made you purchase it separately.
Whatever.
Actually, isn't that one of like the first, if not the first? No, it's got to be the second. Nintendo Power is
Gotta be your
dedicated
ball.
to Simon. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, issue number 2. Continue.
Yep. Obviously, it was praised for ambition. I think at the time when it was released, I don't know if it was panned as much as it is today. Yep. See, there we go. Nailed it. But nowadays, I think people look at this game as being kind of cult classic-y. Some people are into it, speed run it because they know how to speed run it now. So it's gained an additional following. But I will say that there are elements of this game that influence the Metroidvania genre as well. So without Simon's Quest, maybe Silksong wouldn't exist.
How dare you? How dare
you?
Oh.
Oops, did I say that?
Seem to have struck a nerve.
No. All right, number 4 is on the PS1. It is Resident Evil Survivor. Either of you played this one?
No, sir.
Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have not. Looks like crap.
Well, PS1 game.
Well, it was a first-person shooter that used the light gun for one.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things that made it interesting is that the stages were linear, right? You had limited ammo and health. Tried to maintain some of the tension of Resident Evil games, but I don't know if it did it fairly well. And it definitely lacked like the cinematic storytelling that was, Resident Evil was known for. So definitely stepped away from the formula that works. So
I'm thinking of the cinematics in Resident Evil 1. Yes, the cinematic storytelling.
remember back then that was cinematic storytelling. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? He almost became a Jill sandwich.
Say what?
So of course, I think this was an attempt by Capcom to try to turn Resident Evil more into like a House of the Dead kind of thing, right? And people wanted first-person shooter games, so I assume that they were like, all right, well, let's bring like an arcade experience with Resident Evil.
Mhm.
But interestingly enough, the PlayStation release in North America and Europe disabled light gun compatibility due to a string of gun-related controversies at the time.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Was somebody taking their light gun out in public and using it for nefarious reasons?
Wasn't 2000 Columbine?
I think it was
1990.
about 99.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
so
99.
right around that
99,
time.
2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nobody was gonna take the Resident Evil gun and think that it's, I don't know, whatever. But the game itself is known as being super frustrating and clunky and just ugly. So not something I think that people were excited about because it just didn't play well and it looked like crap. And a lot of people, I think, kind of see it as being a downgrade from Resident Evil 2 and 3, right? So coming out around the same time, why would I play this crap game when I can just play 2 and 3 and have the experience that I'm looking for? So it's more like, at this point, a curiosity about Capcom's kind of experimental phase of things, but definitely I would consider this to be a class example of a black sheep.
I was in my experimental phase. Can't hold that against me.
The last one, since I've already pissed off Blue, this one's on the Super Nintendo. And it is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
You motherfucker.
Donnie, tell me about your feelings. on this one.
I loved Mystic Quest because it seemed like it was I wouldn't say dumbed down, but it was more simplistic than a normal Final Fantasy game. I had a lot of fun playing Mystic Quest. Quite frankly, it's been more than 30 years since I've played. No, not more than 30 years. Probably about a good 25 years since I played Mystic Quest. I would love to sit down and actually play that game again and try to fall in love all over again. I'd love that game.
It's almost like we play every other Wednesday.
Play every other Wednesday?
Yeah, like on Twitch or something. Like
You mean every other Monday?
Sorry, that one too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, that too. Because we actually need to finish a freaking game.
We don't finish games. We just start them.
I'm now like I'm so much farther into Secrets of Adventure. What is
Samsara?
Samsara.
Adventures of-
Adventures of God, I'm having a senior moment. Adventures of Samsara. And right now, like, I don't even know where to go. Like, I don't want to consult any guides or anything like that. But we need to sit down and actually finish a game. And I feel like if we tried doing that with Mystic Quest, we wouldn't get done for a year.
It's probably true. Even though it's like on rails, more or less.
Yeah.
So this was, of course, a game that was developed specifically for North America, where Square felt RPGs were too complex for mainstream players.
Well, there you go. That's why I love it.
This was a quote-unquote gateway PC with simplified systems, shorter length, and less text. Originally released in Japan as Final Fantasy USA Mystic Quest.
Ooh.
That's a dig.
That's a deep burn.
Yep.
That's a deep burn.
When Mario 2, the one we got in North America, was released in Japan in that like reskin Doki Doki Panic, it was actually released as Mario USA.
Oh.
So this is a pattern.
Mario for dummies.
So the gameplay, of course, was stripped down RPG mechanics, simplified battles, fewer spells, easy dungeons. If you died, you got to go right back to the same fucking battle. There's no consequences for risking anything, right? There's only 2 playable characters at a time, which sometimes I actually think that's an advantage, but nonetheless. Accessible pacing meant that there was little grinding or strategy compared to other Final Fantasy.
Little grinding?
A little bump and grind.
Don't see nothing wrong.
So, as I think we've suggested, and plenty of people have suggested in the chat, that many RPG fans saw it as condescending and oversimplified. Critics were lukewarm. Some praised it as being an approachable entry point. And its legacy, definitely a black sheep on this one. Definitely a departure from Final Fantasies on Super Nintendo, which were...
For everybody listening later, Ryan is holding up a series of fingers. First, he held up 4 fingers, and then he held up 6 fingers. Then Donnie held up 1 finger in response. I'll let you guess which one.
You know, though, people in chat have said this, though, it is remembered fondly for its soundtrack. So at least they put some thought into that. So to wrap things up, I mean, not all of these games, I think when you think of black sheep, that term, right, it means that it's a negative connotation, but a lot of these games are maybe not loved by everyone, but there are definitely fans of each of these games, except for maybe the Resident Evil one, because that seems to like universally hated.
That's the true black sheep,
right? So as far as things go, it's nice to see when companies try to do something new. I mean, is it always successful? No, but there's going to be somebody out there that's going to enjoy
of course.
what you put together. So wanted to thank everybody for attending another Gaming History 101. If you do have any suggestions, just like Eric had for us, feel free to email us at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com, and we might feature your suggestion.
I would like to make my own nomination for the Black Sheep list.
Go for it.
Typing of the Dead.
Typing of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with this one.
Are you serious? It's in the House of the Dead series, but instead of using a light gun, you type
The keyboard.
the letters the keyboard, and that's how you kill the zombies.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure helps you learn how to type, but also PTSD of like on a keyboard. You're like, oh God, oh, it's coming.
Yeah, you should look that up. It's kind of wild, and from what I understand, is actually pretty good.
Where the fuck's the semicolon?
The one and only keyboard peripheral for made specifically for a game. It's like, okay, we can have you can use the keyboard for a web browser as well, but we're gonna actually have them played, use it for a game. It's like, what are we doing here?
We're selling peripherals.
Peripherals.
Get on the same page.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
All right. Thank you all for listening to episode 183 of Gamers Week Podcast, and a big thank you to the Retro Game Club Podcast, Love Retro BTW, Pixel Pawn Production Company, and Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress, for sponsoring this episode. Don't forget to check out their links in the show notes. If you want to connect with Gamers Week, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Gamers Week PC. Watch us right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamers Week Podcast, where we will record live every Wednesday at 8:30 Central Time. Email us at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com. Visit our merch store at gamers-week-podcast.creator-spring.com, or if you want to do it the easy way, follow the link in the show notes. And last but not least, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/gamersweek. Finally, since you made it all the way to the end of this episode, please leave us a rating and a review to let us know how we did. We really do value your feedback. And while you're there, consider subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice.
Well, again, thank you guys all for joining us for another fantastic Wednesday stream.
I just messed up the message I was trying to type. I guess I need to practice more typing of the dead.
And I know you are someone who gets so mad when you have typos too. So
They're the worst. It's a personal failure, like deep down.
I agree. And what's very frustrating is typing on a phone where it's like it constantly, the iPhone's like, oh, you didn't want to type that word, did you? We'll just change it to a completely different word. And I'm like, I'm like 4 or 5 words because I'm just like kind of like doing this. And I look down and nothing makes sense. I'm like, fuck. So I got to go back and take everything out and do all this adjustment and stuff. It's annoying. Just let me, you know what? Text to talk or talk to text. That's what I'm going to do from now on.
Then it will make sure that you ducking meant to say what you said.
Exactly. Quack, quack, quack. Ooh, I heard that gurgle. With that being said, thank you everybody for stopping in and hanging with us tonight. We will be back on Monday if Ryan feels better. And then on Wednesday, we'll be back with another live episode 184. Tonight, I believe we're going to leave you with DMC PCRT because they are playing Resident Evil. I believe it's the Resident Evil 7, the classic Resident Evil 7.
I told you that joke was going to go the whole show.
And it ended the show. So how about that? But they're playing Resident Evil 7. Go ahead and hang out with him for a little bit. Show him some love. And we will be back next week. So thank you. Have a good night. And we will see you later.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Adios, muchachos.